today's video. So today we got a bit of a comparison on the cards between the newly redesigned Hagstrom Swede and Super Swede models. I'm going to take a look at a few of the key differences between the two guitars, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about just some things I've noticed from having some extended playing time with each guitar, some kind of takeaways and where I might choose one over the other for different kind of styles or playing scenarios. I do have in-depth demos of both guitars, so I'll leave each respective demo linked in the description box, but without further ado, we'll jump straight in. The first difference I want to talk about is the scale length on the two guitars. So the Super Swede that I've got here has a 25.5 inch scale length, so that's akin to Fender scale length. The Swede has a 24.75, so that's the same as Gibson. And for anyone who's not familiar, very briefly, scale length is the distance between the bridge and the nut of the guitar. And basically a longer scale length, so like on the Super Swede, will give you a slightly snappier, brighter tone, some more harmonic overtones. Also, it makes bending have a little bit more resistance. A shorter scale length does the opposite, so you get a warmer, rounder tone. Bending has a little bit less resistance, so neither's better. It all boils down to personal preference, really. So if you feel more comfortable on a Gibson guitar, like Les Paul or an SG or something, you may feel more at home on the Swede, whereas if you feel more at home on a Fender or a longer scale length instrument, might be the Super Swede, and might feel a little bit more comfortable in your hands to play. The next thing to talk about is the bridge pickup. So both guitars have the same neck pickup. It's an Alnico 2 Lundgren design neck pickup there. The Swede has an Alnico 2 in the bridge, again Lundgren designed. The Super Swede has a much hotter Alnico 5 Lundgren design bridge pickup. And again, it's not really a quality thing, it's more of a preference thing. Personally, I prefer the Alnico 2. I generally prefer lower output pickups. I actually really like the split coil options that this guitar offered as well. Maybe the Super Swede is potentially more versatile, having the capability to deal with higher outputs or offer the amp a higher output with that higher gain pickup. I felt the Swede really excelled at like classic rock, mid-driven kind of tones, a little bit more vintage orientated, whereas the Super Swede, again, potentially more versatile, could deal with higher gain. So really it just boils down to what kind of style and what genre you prefer to play in. So finally, the last difference I want to talk about is the neck dimension. The Super Swede is 1mm thinner than the Swede, and whilst it doesn't sound like very much, it is a noticeable millimeter, and I actually noticed it even more when playing stood up. Personally, I felt more comfortable on the Super Swede. It just felt a little bit more like what I'm used to, and I don't think it's a quality thing. I think across the board these guitars stand shoulder to shoulder quality wise. It's really just a preference thing, and that's the point of this video, is to highlight a few of the things that on first glance maybe aren't all that obvious, but do really kind of change the playing experience of the two guitars. So I'd say the Super Swede feels a little bit more modern, slightly thinner neck. The Swede, again, feels a little bit more vintage orientated, leading to a more classically designed instrument, I guess. So I guess some general observations from playing both the guitars for an extended period of time. To me it felt like a new spec set, a new higher spec set offered for fans of Hagstrom guitars. We've got the lock-in tuners, we've got stainless steel frets, Lundgren design pickups, and I know various other models of theirs have had elements of that before, but I think particularly for the Swede and Super Swede, this is a new higher spec tier. So in terms of where I pick one over the other, on a personal preference level, I guess I felt more at home on the Super Swede with that thinner neck and longer scale length. It's just more what I'm used to. Almost all the guitars in my collection have a longer scale length and slightly thinner necks, so that was the one out the gate I felt most comfortable on. Tonally though, I actually preferred the Swede, and certainly if I was looking to integrate one of these two guitars into my own collection, it would make sense to go for the Swede, as it ticks a lot of boxes I don't already have covered, and with that shorter scale length. I don't have like a Gibson single cut style guitar, so that would make sense if I was looking to add one to what I already own. That said, if I was to play a gig or a session and only use one guitar and it's one of these two, I'd probably pick the Super Swede, as I feel more comfortable on it and it's potentially more versatile with that higher output bridge pickup. One thing I will say is just because I feel more comfortable on the Super Swede doesn't mean that everyone would. I would guess that anyone who generally feels more comfortable on Gibson instruments would probably feel more at home on the Swede. Anyone who feels more at home on Fender or other longer scale instruments would probably feel more at home on the Super Swede. So the purpose of this video really was just to kind of highlight the key differences between the two, and maybe highlight some things to bear in mind anytime you're looking to add a new guitar to an existing collection, be it one of these two or any other guitar in general. I guess try and figure out where it fits in with the other guitars you already own, what kind of job you want it to do. Is it to be a backup, so to have an identical spec set to one you already own, or is it to kind of fill a gap that's not already being currently filled by an instrument you already have in your possession? So if anyone has any questions, please do drop them in the comment section. I'll keep an eye on that down there. And I've also played almost every other Hagstrom model at this point, so any other Hagstrom related questions, feel free. I'll leave links to each respective demo on screen now. Hopefully they'll be showing up. And finally, if you did enjoy the video, please do click like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.